Hi guys, I'm Peter and I'm an engineering student and I love to do some reading during my free time. But recently I just came across a very interesting topic here on how actually the video games can improve our brain. Well, I'm sure that most of you when we talk about these video games, the first thing we think about is children, right? Well indeed, 90% of them do play games. But let's be frank, while the kids are not around, it's the one actually sitting in front of this computer or PlayStation. Most of us here, right? So, if we do look into the projected demographics of this video game played, the game players for tomorrow are actually already adults, right? So this shows that these video games are quite pervasive throughout our society nowadays, and in fact they have a very strong and powerful impact on our everyday lives. And I'm so quite sure that for most of the parents here, you have this kind of experience coming back on finding your kids actually playing this kind of games. For example, shooting games. Well, the task is very easy actually for them, just to get rid of all the enemy zombie bad guys before they get to you, right? And then I'm also sure that you have this kind of thoughts running towards you. Oh come on boy, why don't you just do anything that's far more intelligent or smarter than shooting the zombies for the whole day, right? Well, what I'm going to say here is not to tell you that playing video games is good for our health, but in fact, binging is never good. However, there are also some good impact of video games on our brain. Let's say, for the first one, vision. Well, I'm sure that most people say video game players actually affects our eyesight, and it's very bad for our eyesight. Well, why don't we just step into the lab and do this very simple experiment here? Just looking at the characters, test your eyesight. Well, researchers have done a few studies on two groups of people. The first one is those who play video games with great indulgence in playing video games for at least 24 hours per week, whereas the other one never play video games at all. And surprisingly, they found that from these two groups of people, these video game players they actually have a far more better eyesight than those ordinary, we call it normal to corrective eyesight. Now, the first one they are able to resolve into very small details resolve very small details in front of cluster. There is they are able to read the fine print or prescription. Whereas the other one they are able to resolve different level scales of this gray color. For example, when we are driving a fog, they are actually the one who can detect the fastest the car in front of us faster than anyone can do here, right? So playing video games worsen your eyesight? I don't think so. Next, it can actually help us to have better attention ability also. Now what I'm saying so is, for the video game players, they have to focus on every details of every changes of this movement in the games, so that they can win the games completely. Well, through some experiments done by these researchers, and also the one you are going to do here, so first you have to read out, or you have to tell me what is the color for the wordings here. For example, the first one, orange, green, red, yellow, and so on, right? So it's very simple actually, but I'm sure that most of you, some of you here will find it's quite difficult for you, because why? I introduced the conflict between these wordings and the colors. So actually, according to scientists, these people playing lots of action games are faster in resolving the conflict than compared to other people who never play games at all. And this is actually correct after the joint by the result by the experiment. Then thirdly, they have a better tracking ability also. For example, we're doing this tracking activity every day. For example, how we are driving, we actually keep tracking of the cars, of the traffic all around us, and also the pedestrian, just to have a safe driving, right? And then for this action video games player, they are the one actually to have a far more better ability in this tracking. Now, for example, the experiment here, if we have, let's say we have this yellow face and also blue set face. Now, first we are going to identify which one changes color. What is the usual color of this little smiley face here? Yellow, right? Very simple. Now I'm going to give you a bit more challenging task. There is, you are going to have to identify 6 or 7 phases here. What is their initial color? Which is this one? Blue, right? So for action video games players, they actually find it very easy because they can detect many small changes for different objects at the same time. Or for the other action video game players, for other people who don't play games, they find it very difficult. This is because scientists have done this brain imaging on action game players, and actually they found that there is a greater changes on brain network. There is which controls the attention and also the tracking ability of the brain. Now lastly, what is this? As you know, right, it's multitasking. Well, for action video game players, they actually are quite good in this. Because they can do many things, multiple tasks at the same time. For example, they are playing this strategy game. First thing they have to do is they have to have this strategy running on the strategy running in their head. The next one they have to do, then they have to keep track of any different changes of the enemies, and then they have to be very attentive with focus on what is going to be happen next. So they can actually perform better in multitasking than the other undergraduates who never play games at all. And this is proven correct by the researchers. So researchers let them just sit in front of the computer, and then they are able to switch from one task to another task very swiftly and very quickly compared to others. Now, in conclusion, video games can improve our vision, and help us to have better attention, to have this better tracking ability, and lastly, help us to perform better in multitasking. And these are all shown correct under the result of an experiment done by these researchers. So before I end, allow me to give you a very simple analogy here. The wine, we all know that wine is actually very good for our health, right? If we consume it in a reasonable doses. Well, the same goes to the video games. You can play it in a limited time and controlled time frame. You can actually get we can actually benefit from the video games on our brain. So this is what happened if we abuse it, if we didn't have it in a reasonable doses. So why don't you just make use of your technology here wisely, so that it can actually help the patients in rehabilitation for the vision problems, and also to help the senior citizens prevent this aging process. Thank you.